said they will be watching, and they're alluding to looting, other behavior that one could be arrested for.
That's right. And he said, you know, if you get caught doing some suspicious activity during storm time, he says your penalties are going to be enhanced if it's found to be related to the storm. So heads up to anybody. I'm not sure if the criminals are out here watching the news, but if you are, think about it.
She said, I don't know if the criminals are out here watching the news, but
in those conditions, don't want to put their crews in danger. Let's do this. Let's check in with Erin.
She did. She was just joking. She said,
Erin, what are you seeing, and what are people telling you right about now?
I got it recording right here. I'm gonna start cooking this chicken.
Well, it started as a pretty calm afternoon, and over the past hour or so, we've really started to see that rain and wind begin to pick up. We're right here on Kings Bay, and one thing we're interested in watching right here is this phenomenon where the water levels in the bay actually over the past couple hours have gone down a little bit. We were last at that motel, if you can see off in the distance, that green patch of grass there. Some of that was starting to be covered in water that has since been gone back down, but that's going to change over the next several hours depending on the positioning of Helene as it moves its way more north and past the Crystal River area. We are expecting what could be life-threatening storm surge in this area. Right now, people are really paying attention to those levels. We are as well watching the seawall here, where we were told as soon as this water comes up over the seawall, we have about 15 minutes to find higher ground, because we've seen how fast this water can move in this area that's been battered by storms in the past. Hurricane Idalia just over a year ago brought about 7 feet of storm surge to this area, going into homes, causing a lot of damage to businesses as well. That was with 7 feet of storm surge. We're still projecting around 10 to 15 in this area later tonight. So that's going to cause a lot of these areas, basically the western part of Citrus County, west of US 19, among many of these homes around Kings Bay, many of these restaurants and other businesses here, put them in danger of this storm surge. So that's what people are watching closely. And as this rain and wind has picked up over the past hour, we sought to see this area start to calm down a little bit. There were some folks around here drinking, swimming, doing that kind of thing. As this weather picked up, they started to make their way out of here and find higher ground. So they're heeding those evacuation warnings, which is important because we know, the damages and the life-threatening possibilities that could come when you're talking about levels of storm surge that high. The mayor here even saying this could be historic flooding in this area, and that's why we're kind of playing the waiting game to see exactly what's going to happen later into the night.
All right, historic meeting. We've never seen it on record before there, Erin. And typically we do this in the newsroom. We get the nuts and bolts meaning. We get the straight facts, right? But the emotion of the situation. You frequent some of these areas, Erin. To actually see that storm surge up close and personal, what do you make of that?
Thank you.
Well, it's kind of bizarre, right? Because you talk
Guess
to some of
who's
these folks.
coming
I met
in
someone
right
who
now?
evacuated their home here on Kings Bay, a home that they were still living on the second floor of more than a year after Hurricane Idalia brought about 2 feet of water
He
in
must
there,
have
damaging
talked
their
to
floors,
somebody.
their walls, a lot of their some utilities as well. So they've been still living on the second floor of their condo. Now they're in a hotel waiting out this storm, wondering what they're going to come back to. This is a resilient area, though. A lot of the people we've talked to, the business owners, they were going around yesterday helping people board up, helping them do things to their windows, make them more secure. And they said they're going to be here to help clean up as well. It's, something that they're unfortunately used to. But as we said, this is storm surge that could be something they haven't seen before, at least in several decades.
Thank you, Erin. We're seeing that wind pick up through the area, him adjusting his hat, the camera moving as well. So we're hoping you stay safe out there, Erin. We're going to take a live look right now down south in Naples, where they're feeling the effects of the storm as well.
Right, let's take a look at this right here. It's courtesy of EarthCam. So
my
talk
God.
about the wind. Right, I took notes over here, Sarah, as I was trying to, get an idea of the wind
I
speeds
can't
of this hurricane,
believe
Helene.
Naples.
And so, you put the bottom side of the storm category and the top side. Cat 1, 74.
Naples, Florida. That's even lower than Fort Myers.
Right.
You should see the ocean there.
Oh, God. They said all the sea rises,
Yeah, they've got live pictures on.
That were just found banging into the pier there. So if you washed your boat, or if you have a boat, maybe be mindful if it's by Clearwater and the pier. Clearwater Police is putting out pictures of it. Maybe you can go check out their social media pages and ours as well. And you can see
somebody
what those boats
lost
look like.
the
We're going to be taking a
boat
live look
already.
outside at Clearwater as well. Here's a look at that. Bobby, were you going to say something about Clearwater?
Just getting ready to tell you about that camera right there.
You can see that it's out in the parking lot now. It's come well over that seawall there. I mean, it's sticking out a little bit. But now
Clear water.
into,
The water's coming over the
parking lot,
seawall.
get it back out towards the circle. In fact, let me turn it here just a little bit to the east. We can see the
Come
circle
here,
there out
Dad.
on the beach. And it looks like it's just a little bit of water there. It's not terrible at that point, but we still got more water to go.
Yeah. Bobby, at this point, it's all relative, of course, right? Because, as we said, this storm, such a big storm, going to touch everybody in some way.
Definitely. Good thing I do see there is that people are not out there. Earlier today, we saw that people were out there, and thankfully, looks like some people are heeding those warnings.
Yeah, I want to take you back to Tampa here for a look near the convention center of the situation right there. We've had Eric Glasser stationed there for much of the day. Let's check in with him, Eric.
Yeah, we're actually at the very southern end of Davis Islands, what's called the Seaplain Basin. And actually, the entire area of Davis Islands is in flood zone A, so that's a mandatory
Davis Island, that's a pretty area.
And as the wind continues to pick up, you can see why there is concern here. Look at the water there, churned up and getting the seawall here, and now starting to come over onto land. I can tell you that during Hurricane Idalia, there was water here on Davis Islands. We're talking about another 2 to 3 feet of storm surge above that, potentially.
What, a cemetery?
And so obviously some of the boats here are very concerned. Look out into the basin. You can see it's also used for mooring boats and other seacraft.
Look how choppy that water is.
And then if you look further into the distance, you'll see, well, that's the Davis Islands yacht club.
Me too.
Right now.
And at the very end of their dock
Not
there,
all that, too
something
much.
you obviously don't see very
said
often,
he's
boats are
coming
hurt in warning flags.
Yeah.
Flying there and
did?
obviously
He
being
called
beaten
me.
pretty
Okay.
well. Flying elements as we speak.
Good.
Where we're standing right
Somebody's
now at the edge of the
drain
basin, by
pipe
the way,
just
is also where
moved down
Peter
the
O'Knight
street.
Airport is. The airfield has been secured, but if you take a look towards downtown, which is where the runway is, you can see that there are still a couple of planes out here as well. Those have been tied down. They are probably able to handle the elements and the amount of wind you can see, but if the water does come up and over, well, that could be a very different story, as it could push those around as well. Again, though, the biggest concern right now is the storm surge. The elements, as you can see, are not really very well. Water already now pouring onto the squeeze just around English Island Boulevard as it makes its way here to the end. I can tell you on other parts of the island, some spots have been boarded up in the commercial district. Houses have plenty of sandbags around them. They know that there is the potential for flooding, and they're doing what they can. But it's just a question at this point of how much storm surge there will be and whether or not it will inundate this low-lying area. On Davis Islands, Eric Glasser, 10 Tampa Bay.
Big thanks to Eric Glasser for that report
in the
right there.
fridge
And
for a
just as
long
that was coming
time.
on board,
No,
much like yourselves at home, we have our phones here, we're getting these alerts.
Yeah, we're just getting some information about a warning that people need to be aware of.
It
They're
takes a
down there in
second.
Antique County. Bobby, thanks
I already
for the
seasoned
work.
it.
Tornado
Yeah,
warning.
I already seasoned it, and I put it in there.
Right now, Charlotte
And then
County,
I'm gonna
it's
cook it
parts
up.
I'm not gonna
of Sarasota,
argue.
Milton County,
I might even have a couple
DeSoto
pieces,
County.
but,
It's this one
I'm
way
gonna
south,
see
Port
20
Charlotte.
argue with you.
That's the
Yeah.
cell,
There's
a very
definitely
weak
kind.
cell, but
I'm
this
not
one,
Have you-
not this
you like
one,
sherbet? I
but
don't
these
know if you like
cells
sherbet.
have
No.
produced tornadoes and
Reminds me
damage
of the hospital.
earlier today. So you got to take all of these
yeah.
data seriously. You can
Yeah,
see this
you're
is
right.
right now
Rehab.
in the Port Charlotte area. It's mainly just east of downtown. It's basically going across 75 right now, east of Murdoch, north
That
of Solano,
tornado,
north of
yeah.
Cleveland there. But this is going to move it out into southwestern parts of
My
DeSoto
God,
County.
that tornado's been out there
As we
forever.
going into the next 5 to 10
Remember
minutes or so.
6
This
o'clock?
This is
That's
not a very
it's
clear
the
one.
same.
It's right here.
Whoa.
If I put a track on it, it's going to put it over towards Maple Leaf Golf Country Club at about 7:21. That's what that is now. Platte would be about 7:28. So about 7 minutes before it can get up. It's crossing 75 right now. So it'll be over in that rural
it's
area there
amazing
in just
to
about a
listen
minute or
to
so.
what God's
And then up
plan
towards that
is.
Platte area at about
Yes.
7:28. Pine Level, if it can hold together, that would be
We
another
don't
20
do
minutes or so
anything
before it
to
gets to you.
cause
Most
this.
of these recent
I
ones
mean,
have
it's
flared up
all
and then fall
nature
apart pretty
made.
quickly.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that is more typical of a tornado that we see
Listen to it.
in in hurricanes.
God, I got scared.
It's a decent rotation.
That
We've seen
window,
more earlier.
wind comes right through it.
And that tree is right next to the window.
Oh,
yeah, we just got another one right there. We're actually talking, I'm kind of looking at the bigger picture, but we're talking about this right here. So if you're in the Platte area, you want to get into your shelter. There are some pretty good winds out ahead of it. This is west of Platte. There's some pretty good straight line winds right there, but the tornadic cell is this one right here. And you can see that polygon is going to take it all the way up. They've been drawing them. Look at that. They drew it all the way up. Till 7:45. I doubt that this is around for 20 minutes, but it might. It could be.
Until 7:45.
You can see it's way down here on the bottom. Just getting a new scan right there. This is it on the other side, east side of 75 now, north and east, depending on how you look at it. And now that's into DeSoto County. So Platte, you need to be in your shelter right now. It's a week.